Hello there, this is Dave Allen for Good and Geeky, and today we're looking at the shortcuts application on both the Mac and on iOS. Woohoo! With Mac OS Monterey we'll now have shortcuts which are available on the Mac, and you might imagine it's not going to work the same on both platforms. The Mac can do things the iPad can't, and the other way around also. There's no Applescript, shell scripts and similar in iOS. The shortcuts will synchronise across iCloud, so you're going to see shortcuts in iOS which will only work on the Mac and vice versa. How do we deal with this? One way to deal with this will be to put all of your Mac shortcuts into a folder which is labelled Mac. So this one here is for Mac shortcuts, or you can have Mac photos. So you could have a number of folders which are specific to the Mac. Now you'll have some shortcuts which will work okay, no problem on both platforms. So what do you do with those? I suppose you could just duplicate them and put them into the Mac end of things and to the iOS end of things. You don't really want to make another folder called cross-platform where you could put a whole lot of stuff in there which works on both of them, because that's awkward too. Another possibility would be to just not worry about it at all. There'll be occasions where you try to run a shortcut and it's going to fail. It'll be at that point when you remember it's a shortcut which is meant for the other platform. Now some of you won't mind this, and some of you will be annoyed by this and maybe not bothered at all one way or another. We'll have to see. It depends on how often it happens. Do you prefer stuff to be spot on correct and do what they're supposed to do at first attempt? Well, I like things to be right, and I could get miffed when a process doesn't work as I expect it to. Another possible way to sort this out would be to make shortcuts that will run equally on both platforms, in that you only use shortcuts, or only make shortcuts where the steps and actions that you use are going to work on both. But that's going to limit you an awful lot, and there's going to be some things that you'd like to make and you won't be able to, because you won't be able to use it on both. So in any case, not all apps are going to be able to give us proper compatibility, because you've got some actions that will work on the Mac and in the same application and won't work on iOS. And obviously that's because of the fact that you can touch things on the iPad and stuff, and you can't do that on the Mac. Here are our Mac shortcuts, and we could do this. Let's go into this one here called if and when. And on this one here, you could have it so that it will receive any input from share sheet, quick actions, on screen, whatever else. And if there's no input, continue. We got that by going into this one here and told to pin to menu bar. We have it as quick action, put it in the services menu. And then for the iPhone and iPad, we've got it so it's on the share sheet and it will receive also what's on screen. What we do with this one here is we use an if action. This is a bit of scripting. I'm going to make a shortcut which will have the wherewithal within it contained into separate parts, which will run either on the Mac or on iOS. So put the if statement in there, and so in here we put all the actions necessary for it to run on the Mac platform. So basically you got a whole sort of shortcut within this section here. Then on this other part here, the otherwise, put everything in there that's to do with iOS. So what's going to happen at a moment in this first one here, it's going to look for the device type. So you have to go for device detail, and there's various things that you can choose on here, but device detail is the one that you want. And then you choose where it's coming from. So it's the Mac, the watch, or wherever else. Let's see how we do this. Delete actions. Okay then, so this is what we do to start this off. We're going to go to our apps, and we're going to look for an if action. Okay, so there's our scripting if action. We can drag that and drop that in there. And as I say, we put all the stuff in this underneath this first one if it's going to be for the Mac. But we have to set it up first. So if shortcut input, that's not what we're looking for. We're going to clear that out of the way. If the input, we're going to have to go for device details. And in device details, we want to go for the device type. And then in device type, we want to go for is, and then change that to Mac. Easy peasy. And then otherwise, you don't have to put anything else in there, because if it's not for the Mac, it's going to be for iOS, isn't it? So that'll do. That's how easy it is to set up your shortcuts so that you can run them either from the Mac or from iOS, and it'll decide for itself in the shortcut what's going to happen. Another possibility, by the way, is if you want to keep them separate, what you can do is you can choose this one here where you can have a shortcut which is in a separate area. So basically a shortcut that's running for Macs. So let's do this one here. So all the shortcut does is to choose whether to run this shortcut for the Mac or a shortcut here which is for iOS. So that's another way of doing it. Anyway, this is Dave Allen for Good and Geeky, having a look at how to set your shortcuts up so that they will work on either platform. You can put some questions or comments about this into the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the little bell so that you get notified when there's more tutorials as well. But bye now. Talk to you again soon.